Welcome to my first video for anyone who watches this. In this video, it's mainly just going to be a get to know me, kind of know my warm up, where every part comes from, how every part affects my game, and I'm just going to kind of walk through that a little bit, just because I feel like it's important. I mean, everyone should have a warm up, so yeah, I'm just going to kind of go through that today, and maybe throw in a few clips from my in-game afterwards just to see how it was affected. But yeah, it doesn't take too long. It's about similar to other YouTubers and streamers and pros that I've watched. I've pretty much taken theirs and kind of combined it around with everyone. So to start, I should have selected Jet.
My ult's ready.
And I'm gonna turn this down a little. So I don't need it too loud. To start, this is like, imagine you're first on, haven't done anything yet. To start, I always start with my Vandal, just because I'm going to use it the most. Just want to work on my spraying, and then my tracking and flicking and moving. So I'll just start with this for a few minutes, just kind of killing a couple. Normally whenever I first start, I'm like this speed. I've already been playing for a while, so doesn't matter. But normally when I start, I'm like this speed, and I'm kind of going past them by accident and trying to track back. So, but then as I slowly see, I'll do that sometimes whenever I first start. Then as I get more warmed up, and that's also working on your head level, like your crosshair placement, because that is also a very, very, very important part of the game. So just run through that, and then once I feel like I've done enough, I'll switch over to Sheriff. I usually don't do the Sheriff for as long, just because it's basically the same thing that I was doing with the Vandal. And then once I am done with all of that, I pull out my Jet ult, and I got this one from, I think, Alexander, if I remember correctly. And so basically what you do is you just jump up, hold her down, her updrift, and you just want to see how many you can get in the air. So at first, I'll just work on trying to hit their heads, not going too quick. Usually at the start, I can hit like 2 to 3 in the air. And then once I kind of want to start getting more warm, I'll speed it up a little. This is when I'll get my average of 3 to 4. It just depends, really, because if you get them lined up right, and I don't really count that as much, because I feel like it just doesn't like do much, like you're not moving as much. So I don't know, but I try to, I think the most I've ever gotten in the air at once was 6, and that's because they all lined up properly. So I don't really count it as much, but I just try and go as quick as possible. And once I get a decent amount, and once I feel good about my aim on this part, then I usually transition over to the next part, which will be with Sage. And you just take her wall and you place it right there. Break this one. Break this segment of the wall. You can also break this one. It doesn't matter. I just like to break this one. And I kind of just go back and forth, working on my quick peeks. This is the part I need the most work on. So I won't do it for the sake of this video, but usually I'll spend like 5 to 10 minutes working on this part. And usually what I'll try and do is circle out one dummy, and then once the wall breaks, I'll just switch over to the other side. And I'll do each side 2 times, so I'll go through 4 walls. But I try and usually focus on one dummy. Because usually, like, if you're peeking like this, you're only gonna really see one person usually. Yeah, we'll do that. And what I used to do was I would go right here and do like this around this wall, but you can't get both sides, so didn't really like that as much. But then once I feel that I've done a good job on that, once I'm done, I move into a hard or 30, and I'm just trying to see how many I can get. I'm working on a lot because usually what I like to do is like go way out here past them, so I don't really pay as much attention. So what I've started doing is using the sheriff first, kind of getting down the movement, get a feel for how far I need to go, how fast I need to move my mouse, just trying to like get that movement going. And then once I try and do 12 for my sheriff. If I can usually do like 12 or more, that's whenever I switch over to the Vandal. So I got my 12 there, so I switch over to the Vandal. And so I try and not like rush over there too quick, and just try and take my time with this part. And I usually can average about 15. If I'm really, like, that's my normal, I would say, is 15 probably. And then I'll do both guns twice, sometimes 3 or 4 times. And then once I have fully done that, I go a Guardian, and I go to, I can pull back up. I pull up Eliminate 100. I do this only with the Guardian. And my goal is to get under 100. Or under 100 seconds. And I go over to this corner, so that way I can get these long shots like that one. And the goal is to get under 100 seconds. Once I get under 100 seconds, 2 times in a row, then I switch over to my next part, which is going to be a deathmatch. Yeah, now I will just try and speed through this, so that way no one has to really watch. Alright, and there we go. So we're under 100. And so like I said, I would normally do it a second time to get 2 times in a row. If I don't get 2 times in a row, I have to restart. But then, after this, I hop into a deathmatch. So I'm in a deathmatch, and depending on time and what all I have planned for each day, these deathmatches can kind of range. So first, what I usually try and do is I do a game with a ghost. And I just find the ghost to be beneficial. I never saw it. This is kind of my own thing that I created. But the entire point is like calm aim. Like that's my whole focus on whenever I have my ghost, is just to do calm aim. Because that's what I struggle with right now. So if I can do a good job with the ghost, then I will usually get above 20 kills if I have like a good game with the ghost. It honestly just depends on the lobbies. because the lobbies can always be different. You can sometimes get immortals. You can sometimes get immortal games. You can get silver, gold games. It just depends. So, really not locked in right now. But if I'm not feeling Ghost, like if I don't have enough time for Ghost, then I will move over to the Sheriff. I clearly need more practice right now. But I'll move over to the Sheriff. No matter what, I'll always play 2 games. Always 2. Never less, never more. Because if I play 2, then I feel like I get too much, and I lose all my ability. And so, once I get done with the Sheriff, I'll move into... Usually Sheriff or the Ghost will be the first game. For the second game, I always do Guardian or Vandal. Right now, I prefer the Guardian. I just feel like I could aim better with it, if that makes sense. But this is for that first shot, like, you want to head tap, you want to just one-shot someone. That's the entire purpose of this part, is to try and just one-tap. You want to get that one-tap kill, which also can be a part of the Sheriff, but just preference is the Vandal or the Guardian, because they're one-tap headshots from any range. And so... kind of similar to the Ghost and the Ghost and the Sheriff, like earlier. It kind of just depends. Like if I want to work on my calm aim, I'll go with the Guardian, and if I just want to work on my actual like real scenarios, I'll instantly go to my Vandal. It really just does depend. It's different every time, like I said. But I usually try and not do both in one game. If I'm doing both, it's when I'm in a rush and feel like I need to hurry up my warm-up. But yeah, so I'm gonna play this out. I'll finish this out, speed through it, and yeah. And I forgot to mention it earlier, but it doesn't hurt to try and work on the taps that it's actually probably beneficial to work on the taps that I worked on with the stage wall, because like those were all targets, those weren't moving at all. But to practice the tapping just like that, very beneficial on moving targets and death matches. Then you can practice the skill, like with real opponents that are shooting back at you. Which, as you can see, I need more practice. But yeah, so that's my warm-up. Then right after this, I feel comfortable. I'm ready. If I feel like I need more matches, I'll play more matches, and if not, then so be it. I'll hop right into the ranked. But yeah, that is my warm-up.
That's a kill. That's 3. My ult is ready.
One enemy remaining.
4. Skedaddle out.
What the fuck?
One enemy remaining.
I did. I wouldn't know if it's good or not because it seems like
You made a mess of yourself.
you're lucky he was left.
Just carry me. Just carry me. Just carry me.